And this is now becoming a real crisis.
Harry was not in love with Meghan Markle. He was in love with somebody else who turned him down.
When you look at the one who got away, and she's living the life that you hope to live one day, in Mystique no less, with a lovely man who treats her very well, of course that is going to hurt.
I don't think that Harry would ever leave those children. And so he's stuck in California and he doesn't have any friends, really. You know, Nacho is there sometimes, but he also lives in Florida and he's constantly traveling. He hangs out with his security guards and Meghan and the kids.
Harry has woken up and smelled the roses. And he's not happy because it's not roses he's smelling. He's smelling something bad, poop.
What made the end of March 2026 hit so hard was not a courtroom line, but a beach photo from Mauritius. On March 30th, Chelsy Davy posted an Instagram picture holding her third baby, a boy named Finn, wrapped in a white blanket with sunlight behind her. No press release, no PR machine, no Netflix-style crew hanging around, just a mother, her newborn, and the island she calls home. That same week, Prince Harry was in a London courtroom, and the contrast was brutal. He was not on a beach, not holding a baby, but sitting in a witness box, still fighting the Daily Mail over a long-running grievance he just cannot seem to drop. Then things got even messier when private messages appeared in evidence, messages he had said did not exist. Messages using the word sugar, messages talking about movie snuggles. In 1 week, the split between those two lives could not have looked sharper. These were two people who shared 7 years together, but by that moment they looked worlds apart. One was building a family in peace, the other was watching his credibility get tested in real time on the stand. And that is the real point of this story.
Diana looked after him like a child. He was a child, but she had to really nurse him and hold him, and he was a damaged child from the start.
Because it is not simply about whether Harry misses Chelsea. That is too easy. This is about how he ended up here at all. How someone who once had love, family, duty, and purpose lost his footing step by step. Not through one disaster, but through choices that slowly cut away the people and institutions that once held him steady. And here is the part that really stings. Chelsy did not just move on. She built the kind of life Harry once sounded like he wanted for himself. Africa, simplicity, peace, children, and no cameras. She got the quiet version. He got Montecito, lawsuits, and constant speculation around his private life. People keep circling dates and whispering about what comes next, with May 2028 getting mentioned again and again. Hold that date, because in this story, it keeps hanging in the air like a warning. Chelsy saw the problem long before most people did. In 2016, she described royal life in clear terms, saying it was so full-on, crazy and scary and uncomfortable. She added, "I couldn't cope." That was before Harry met Meghan, and Chelsy did not just say it for effect. She organised her whole future around one simple answer: no. No to the royal machine, no to the constant pressure, and no to the life that came with him. The timeline tells you plenty. She and Harry met in Cape Town in 2004 during his gap year. What followed was about 7 years of breaking up and getting back together. After one breakup, she moved to England and enrolled at Leeds for a law degree to be closer to him. She met the Queen, attended Peter Phillips's wedding, and appeared at William and Kate's wedding in 2011. Harry later wrote in Spare that there were still strong feelings there, but Chelsy kept running into the same wall every single time.
If there was a willing billionaire, she would only leave for a step up.
Unfortunately for Harry, after just a couple of dates, Sarah and Macklin decided that Harry was too dumb, too self-absorbed, too nasty to date, that she didn't want to date him.
The press. According to Harry's own account, that pressure was intense. Private investigators allegedly put tracking devices on her car. A man named Mike Baer was reportedly hired to watch her around the clock. Her flight details and even her seat numbers were said to have been leaked, with the idea of putting someone next to her. Harry described this under oath, and that is what makes the irony so hard to ignore. His legal crusade has been built on the claim that the press wrecked his relationships and helped destroy what he had with Chelsy. He told the court, "I always felt as if the tabloids wanted me to be single. That may explain part of it, but not all of it. Chelsy did not leave only because of newspapers. She left because she did not want the life. The press made it worse, no doubt. But Chelsy's own words make the bigger point clear. She rejected the system itself, the scrutiny, the protocol, the staged public role. She did not need a villain. She needed an exit, and once she found it, she took it. Then she built something solid and quiet for herself. She qualified as a solicitor at Allen & Overy, one of the most elite firms in the field. Later, she left law, studied gemology, and created Aya, her own jewelry brand built around ethical African gemstones, 18-karat gold, and her own sourcing model. She married Sam Cutmore Scott, an Eton-educated hotelier from a wealthy family, in a ceremony so private it barely made noise. She reportedly bought her wedding dress from a hotel boutique the day before. That detail says everything about the kind of life she chose. 3 children in 4 years, a move to Mauritius where her parents already live, and not much public drama at all.
So he started having affairs with all sorts of other girls, and she got very upset, and he didn't go and see her for a long time, so she went off and left him. Now that's his fault, 100% his fault.
Totally miserable, totally allowing his negative past to take over him, all of these court battles, and just a great...
We all know that that's how Meghan is. We've seen it from the very beginning. So to even say that you don't do that when we clearly can see that you have done it, you continue to do it, it just makes you out to be a liar.
No interviews, no Netflix deal, no public victim story, just a quiet life built on deliberate choices. And when a friend told the Daily Mail in late 2025 that breakup was probably the best thing that ever happened to her, it landed because, looking at Chelsy's life now, it is not hard to see why. So hold that picture in your head. Economics degree, law degree, gemology diploma, a successful jewelry brand, 3 kids, and what looks like peace. Because the contrast with Harry's path is going to hit hard. Now look at the pattern around him, because it does not feel random at all. First came the friends. Tom Skippy Inskip, one of Harry's closest friends from Eton, reportedly warned him that the relationship with Meghan was moving too fast. After that, he was reportedly cut out of the exclusive evening wedding reception. Tatler put it plainly. Skippy advised Harry not to marry Meghan and paid the price. Then the wider circle started falling away too. Katie Nicholl described a code of silence around the camp. If you talk to the press, you are out. Not debated, not forgiven, just gone. Then came the family and the military backlash. Harry admitted in the Netflix documentary that he had lost a few friends in the process. William was later reported by the Daily Beast to have said, "He absolutely hates Harry."
She tries to direct and show people what to do because she's a controller. And that's what we see in her body language. That is her showing control because she is control obsessed.
She wants to showcase that image to the world that she is the one who's the boss, but she's not really the boss.
He is Mr. Mischief. He's Mr. Traitor. He's Mr. Charlatan. He's Mr. Double Standards. He's Mr. Duplicity. He's Mr. Disloyal. He's Mr. Entitled. He's Mr. Selfish. He's Mr. Big Overgrown Baby. He's Mr. Spoiled Brat. He's Mr. World's Least Happy Millionaire.
William will never ever forgive Harry for what he has done. Then Spare brought fresh anger when Harry described killing 25 Taliban fighters as chess pieces removed from the board. Former Colonel Tim Collins said publicly, "That's not how you behave in the army." Whether people agree or not, the damage was obvious. Friends, family, military ties, all of it started looking broken. And to be fair, Harry made many of these choices himself. Nobody forced him to write Spare. Nobody forced him into the Oprah interview. But when you step back, the sequence is rough. The people who had known him longest seemed to fall away one by one, replaced by a tighter, more controlled circle. Now even Harry admits how bad things have become. He told the BBC that his father won't speak to me because of the security stuff. That is not palace gossip. That came from Harry himself, Chelsy saw the machine years ago and ran. 16 years later, Harry looks like the one still trapped inside it. That is why his legal war with the British press now feels less like a side battle and more like the whole story of his post-royal life. 3 major lawsuits have reportedly pushed legal costs close to £40 million. The core claim in every case is simple. The press could only have obtained his private information through illegal methods like phone hacking, surveillance, and blagging. He did get real wins. He won £140,600 against Mirror Group. He later settled with News Group for a reported £10 million and a written apology. But then came the Associated Newspapers case, the Daily Mail fight, the big one, running from January 2026 through March, and Harry's side seemed confident going in. They had testimony, documents, and Harry himself on the stand, emotional and especially raw when Chelsy came up. But the part they did not seem ready for involved Charlotte Griffiths, editor-at-large of the Mail, on Sunday. During cross-examination, Harry said, "I met her once at a weekend. The next day after I left, I found out who she was. I had words with my friend, and that was that." He said he did not know if he had communicated with her on Facebook. Then he made a firm point, and it mattered. "I'm not friends with any of these journalists." That sounded final, until the defense produced the messages on March 31st, the last day of closing submissions. Those messages changed the mood fast. According to court evidence, Harry initiated the conversation on December 4th, 2011. He identified himself, gave her his private phone number, and over the following weeks they kept talking. Weeks, not one day. The messages stretched across at least 4 separate dates over 7 weeks. He called her Sugar. She called him Mr. Mischief. Even an H-bomb. He wrote, and this is word for word from court evidence, "Miss our movie snuggles. I'm off comms all week, in case you think I'm being rude." That message did not sound distant at all. He signed off with Mo and multiple kisses. He also wrote, "I've been seriously busy since I last saw you, but plan on getting back in the mix for February. Best be around." Phone records also showed a call at 2:50 in the morning and 3 text exchanges on June 9th, 2012. And let's be real, the biggest issue here is not the flirting. He was single. That part is his business. What should really make people stop is something else entirely. The sworn testimony saying they met once. He had no idea about Facebook messages, and he was not friends with journalists. That is where this turns from awkward to serious, because every one of those statements, made under oath, was later smashed against documented evidence submitted to the very same court. The Spectator's Alexander Larman put it bluntly when he said the messages belie Harry's statement in the witness box. Tom Sykes at the Daily Beast pushed even further, arguing that the texts made Griffiths one of the most credible royal reporters in the case because her defense was that she got information through legitimate social access, not hacking. And once those messages dropped, that defense suddenly looked a lot stronger. And do not forget this detail, because it cuts deep. In the N case, Harry mentioned Chelsy 118 times. Meghan came up 5 times, 118 versus 5, in a courtroom, under oath. During one of the most personal legal battles of his life, Meghan was in Montecito, Chelsy was in Mauritius with her newborn, and the court transcript told its own story. Cold, direct, and impossible to spin. It painted a picture of a man still shadowed by the woman he lost, while fighting a war that may have reopened the wound all over again. He walked into that case with a credibility problem, and by March 31st, he may have made it worse himself. The ruling could take months, sure, but the damage that landed on the final day of closing submissions did not need months. It hit right there in public. Once that kind of contradiction lands in open court, it sticks. It follows you. It becomes part of the story whether your team likes it or not. Now let's talk about the money, because that is the other storm hanging over all of this. Depending on who you ask, they are either totally fine or quietly burning through the runway. But here is what we can actually line up. Spotify is gone. That deal was reportedly worth $20 million, signed in December 2020 and terminated in June 2023. After just 12 episodes, Spotify executive Bill Simmons blasted them in public and called them grifters on a podcast heard by millions. That was not a smooth business exit. That was a loud, embarrassing hit. Then comes Netflix, and the shine there has faded too. The original deal was reportedly worth up to $100 million, but after the docu-series did strong numbers, most of the follow-up projects failed to match the hype. Heart of Invictus came and went quietly. Live to Lead barely made a mark. Polo hardly registered. The cooking show only lasted one season. By summer 2025, the arrangement was reportedly downgraded from an exclusive deal to a first-look setup. That is a major step down, no matter how softly people try to phrase it. Then, in March 2026, another rough headline landed. Reports said Netflix pulled out as an equity partner in Meghan's lifestyle brand, As Ever. Internal sentiment was reportedly summed up with two sharp words: "We're done." Whether that wording came from one source or reflected a broader mood, the message was clear. The excitement had cooled off. The patience was running thin. The relationship no longer looked like a glamorous power move. It looked tired. And then there is Penguin Random House, where the mood reportedly does not sound much better. Paula Froelich of News Nation reported in March 2026 that PRH had received at least 2 proposals from Meghan, one on leadership and one described by insiders as a divorce-related book. Her source allegedly said, "Penguin Random House is done with them. They were burned." Meghan's side denied those reports, and that should absolutely be included. But even with the denial, the fact that those stories are floating around from known outlets says a lot about how the industry is now reading this couple. Now let's count what is still standing, because it is not nothing. Spare reportedly brought Harry a $20 million advance and sold more than 6 million copies. That is real money. The Murdoch settlement reportedly brought in around £10 million. Harry's inheritance from Diana is often placed somewhere around $10 million. Their Montecito mansion, bought for $14.65 million in 2020, has been estimated in some reports at around $29 million. So no, this is not a story about two people with empty pockets. Not yet. There are still real assets here. But assets are not the same as stable cash flow, and that is where the pressure starts looking nasty. Private security alone has been estimated at around $2 million to $4 million a year. Property taxes reportedly push close to $300,000. Staff costs keep coming. Legal bills have piled into the tens of millions. Those numbers do not take a break. And the revenue streams that were supposed to support this whole California reinvention, several of them are already gone, badly weakened or barely breathing. Then look at the staffing pattern, because that speaks volumes too. More than 25 staff members have reportedly left since 2020. Their Archewell Foundation reportedly restructured into a fiscal sponsor model in late 2025, with only one remaining employee. James Holt, who had been with Harry for years, left in December 2025. Their 11th PR professional reportedly exited that same month. At some point, that kind of turnover stops looking normal. It starts looking like a place where stability is very hard to hold on to. And now comes the date that keeps showing up again and again, May 19th, 2028. This is not gossip. This is basic California law. Under Family Code Section 4336, a marriage of 10 years or longer can be treated as a long-term marriage. That matters because it gives the court ongoing jurisdiction over spousal support with no automatic cut-off date. Harry and Meghan married on May 19th, 2018, so the 10-year mark lands on May 19th, 2028. That is why people keep circling it in red. Does that prove there will be a divorce? No, it does not. Harry himself joked at the New York Times Dealbook Summit in December 2024 that they had apparently been divorced maybe 10-12 times. Meghan said on the Jamie Kern-Lima show in April 2025, "Do I think we'll be married forever? Yes." She called Harry a fox and described this phase as more of a honeymoon period. Those public statements are real, and they should be included fairly. But even with those reassurances, the legal reality still stands. If a marriage crosses that 10-year line, The financial framework of any future divorce changes in a big way. And before anyone says this is just rumor piled on rumor, let me be plain here. The rumors remain rumors. The denials remain denials. Body language analysis is not hard evidence, and a lot of that content online is entertainment pretending to be expertise. This analysis is not built on that. It is built on court records, reported numbers, public staffing exits, direct quotes, and a very visible pattern. Major deals fading, legal costs rising, credibility getting tested, and isolation growing louder by the year. Because when you line up the professional relationships, the picture looks rough. Spotify gone, Netflix reduced, their publisher reportedly frustrated, Archewell restructured, staff departures piling up, Harry's family still estranged, his old friends largely gone from the frame, the memoir burned through what was left of key relationships. None of that is just one bad news cycle. That is a long pattern of erosion. Then come the memoir whispers, and those only add more heat. Paula Froelich reported that Meghan's camp floated the idea of a memoir to publishers. Page 6 separately reported that someone connected to Meghan pitched the concept of a book by a divorced Duchess of Sussex. Meghan's team denied both reports. That denial matters. But the very fact that those stories are circulating from separate outlets tells you how this couple is now viewed in media and publishing circles. People are not talking about a golden next chapter anymore. They are gaming out damage control and exit routes. There is also a historical angle that biographers keep circling back to, and it is not hard to see why. Prince Philip himself reportedly drew comparisons to Edward VIII, the Duke of Windsor, and Wallis Simpson. According to Ingrid Seward, the parallel kept resurfacing because of the same dramatic pieces: stepping away from royal duty, life abroad, family estrangement, books, staff complaints, security fights, and the long shadow of exile. Edward and Wallis lived in France for decades. Biographer Anna Pasternak described them as jet-setting but unfulfilled, still emotionally tied to England. Wallis reportedly told Gore Vidal that the morning after their wedding, Edward stood there and asked, "And now what do we do?" That line still stings. Of course, the differences are real. Edward was king. Harry is not. Harry has children, commercial options, and a modern media world Edward could never have imagined. But the emotional architecture still feels familiar. A man gives up the centre of royal life for love, then spends years living with the question of whether the trade was worth the cost. That part has not changed in 90 years, and that is why the comparison keeps coming back. And this is where Chelsy Davy becomes the ghost hanging over the whole story. She did not want the crown. She did not want the cameras. She did not want a brand, a Netflix deal, or a lifestyle company called As Ever. She wanted Africa, privacy, sunlight, children, and a quieter life. And the hardest part for Harry may be this: she built it, every piece of it, quietly, clearly, and without turning her life into a public campaign. Harry said he wanted that life too. He said it in Spare, in interviews, and in court. Africa, simplicity, peace. Those words kept coming back. He said Chelsea's name 118 times in one witness statement alone. And that number hangs there for a reason, because for all the speeches, for all the branding, for all the public messaging, the court transcript may be the most honest glimpse of Harry in years, and it points backward more than forward. Then you add the public mood, and it gets even harsher. Recent UK polling reportedly shows Harry at 31% positive and 60% negative. Meghan reportedly sits at 21% positive and 67% negative. For comparison, William is around 74% positive and Catherine around 71%. Polls move, yes, but when they keep leaning the same way, they start to tell a bigger truth. The public has made a judgment. The real question is whether Harry ever will, because what are we really looking at now? A man who spent years in courtrooms, signed major deals that weakened or collapsed, published a memoir that blew up nearly every bridge still standing, and kept defending a marriage a huge part of the public stopped believing in long ago. And while all of that plays out, somewhere in Mauritius, a woman he once loved is holding a baby named Finn on a beach, living what looks painfully close to the exact life he once claimed he wanted. She got away. He didn't. That is why this story hits harder than normal royal gossip. It is not just about status, headlines, or money. It is about a man who said he wanted peace but kept making choices that delivered war. It is about a life that was supposed to become freer, simpler, and happier, yet now looks more expensive, more isolated, and more defensive with every passing year. And when you lay all of that next to Chelsy's quiet life, the contrast is brutal. This is Star Spotlight, where the shine fades and the details tell the truth. If you made it this far, drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like and subscribe for more deep dives like this one.